Hello everyone, my name is Jenna and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to begin our practice at the back of the mat, standing in Shavasana mountain pose. So come to the back of your mat and just start to kind of move your feet around, rocking from side to the ball of your foot and back. We're going to warm up the four corners of our feet. And bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Hands will come down to your sides, palms face away from you. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. And just start to kind of see if maybe you're favoring the top right corner or your heels, the ball underneath your big toe. See if you can distribute the weight evenly within all four corners. Start to bring awareness to your breath by taking deep inhales through your nose. Release, exhale from your mouth. Just do that a couple of times. Start to ground down into your practice. If you have a lot of background noise, a lot of thoughts, memories, what ifs that are appearing in your mind, I invite you to set an intention for today's practice. Quieting the noise. Practice Dharana by focusing on one thing. It could be a person, it could be a painting, it could be a word, an image. Something that will help relax the mind and guide you through your practice today. On your next inhale, bring your arms above your head. Open your eyes if you closed them. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge from the waist, forward fold. Pedal out your feet in your forward fold to warm up your hamstrings. Press into a halfway lift, nice flat back. And then walk your hands out into plank position. So hands are in line with the shoulders. You're in your push-up posture. Lower halfway for low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Jump or step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, fold. We're generating the heat. Halfway lift, step back, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. One more round. Jump or step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and fold. Rise, mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step back, high plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. We'll stay here for a breath. Lift your right leg. Step it all the way through to the top of your mat. Get your footing, create your foundation, and then rise for warrior one. So deep bend in your right knee, but if you look down and can't see your toes, scoot your right foot forward, take a deeper step. You're gonna have a micro bend in your back leg. Make sure that your hips are squared off, going in the same direction. Bring your left hand down to your mat, right arm up towards the sky for a twist in your warrior. Bring your right hand down, square your foot, step back, high plank, and flow, low plank, upward facing dog, and we'll meet in down dog. Lift your left leg, step it all the way through. Find your warrior one. Bring your hands down, square your foot, step back, and flow. We will meet in downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward, lower both knees at the same time, untuck your toes. Knees are hip width distance apart, hands underneath your shoulders. Begin your cat-cow. On your inhale, arch your spine, lift your gaze. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, bring your gaze between your legs. Just do this with your own breath. And what you're doing in these subtle dynamic movements is releasing tension in the spine, warming up the lower back, opening the chest, and deepening that connection to your breath. Come into your tabletop position, nice flat back. Reach your right arm in front of you. Left leg extends behind. And you have options with your breathing to have a cooling breath by inhaling through your nose, exhale from your mouth, or create a bit of fire with your ujjayi breath, which is in through the nose, out through the nose, but hollowing out the throat, creating a bit of restriction. Lower down, other side, left arm, right leg, extend and hold. And lower down. Bring your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it all the way through. Lower down into your right shoulder. Thread the needle. If you want to deepen, you can lift your left arm all the way up towards the sky, or create a vine behind you. Press back up onto all fours. Other side, lift your left arm all the way up. Exhale, thread it through, lower down to your left shoulder. And then deepen however you like. Press back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your tailbone up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, step it all the way through. Press up for warrior two. Deep bend in your right knee, extend your arms, your gaze is over your right fingertips. Press your shoulders down and back. Flip both palms to face the sky. Bring your forearm to your front thigh. Reach forward with your left hand. Extended side angle. You're lifting with your right palm, pushing away with your left. Try not to dump all of your weight into this front leg. Keep everything lifted. Come up, reverse your warrior. Drop your left arm, right arm comes behind. Come back to center into warrior two. Frame your footstep, back high plank. And flow, low plank. Upward facing dog. We'll meet in down dog. Lift your left leg, step it all the way through. And always get your foundation first before you rise up. Warrior two. Gaze is over your left fingertips, deep bend in your left knee. Same rule, if you look down and can't see your toes, take a wider step. This keeps everything in line, right? The ankle in line with the knee, knee in line with the hip. Flip both palms to face the sky. Bring your forearm to your thigh, reach with your right arm, extended side angle. Rise up, reverse your warrior. Drop your right arm, reach back with your left. And if you ever feel like this arm is doing nothing as you reverse, just take a bind to your lower back. Make it feel like it's got more purpose, keep it more engaged. Come back, warrior two. Straighten your left leg, bring your feet parallel. Bring your hands to your hips. Begin to rock your pelvis from front to back. We are always training ourselves to fold from the waist and not from the upper back. The next time you tuck your pelvis back, lead with your heart. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. Try not to lock your knees. If you are, you can heel toe your feet a bit wide to give yourself some more mobility. A little bit of wiggle room. And with each exhale, try to fold just a bit deeper into the pose. Press into a halfway lift. Bring your hands back to your hips, rise up. Heel toe your feet back in if you went a little wide. Point your right toes towards the back of your mat, extend your arms. You're gonna keep your right leg straight. Reach forward, hinge from the waist, triangle pose. Now your right hand can come to a block, come to your shin, it can come down to your mat, wherever you're comfortable. Create a slight bend in your right knee. Plant your hand down. And see if you can press up into half moon if you don't have a couch in your way. Lower your leg back down. Rise up, warrior two. Straighten your right leg, bring your feet parallel. Point your left toes towards the back of your mat. Extend your arms, reach, and find your triangle. Create a bend in your left knee, plant your left hand, and see if you can come up into half moon. Your gaze can be up towards the sky or down at your mat, wherever you're comfortable. Bend your left knee, bring your right foot down, press up, warrior two. Frame your foot, come back into a high plank and flow. Low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward, high plank. And lower all the way down to your belly. Arms come down to your sides, palms face the sky. Rest your left cheek on your mat. And then rest your right cheek. Bring your gaze forward. Palms come up by your face. Press up onto your forearms for 6. Press into your hands and sink all the way back into a child's pose. Crawl towards the back of your mat. You can keep your knees together. Arms will extend. Lower your forehead down to your mat. On your next inhale, press up into hero's pose. Sit back on your heels, or you can keep your knees together, separate your feet, whatever feels good for you. Bring your left hand to your right knee, right hand comes behind for a seated twist. Come back to center. Right hand to your left knee, left hand comes behind, and twist. Come back to center. Sit up onto your knees. You have the option of tucking your toes or pressing into the tops of your feet. Bring your palms to your lower back. It doesn't matter which direction your fingertips point, whatever is comfortable in your wrist mobility. And just begin to push your pelvis forward lightly. We're not forcing it. Lead back with your heart. If this feels like enough, stay here. If you would like to deepen, you can see if you can lower it down onto your ankles for camel pose. Now by tucking your toes, you have a bit of height. It's not as far of a drop. So that is an option if you're just beginning to play with your camel pose. To come out, tuck your chin, bring your hands back to your lower back and press up to center, lower back down, hero's pose. And begin some seated cat-cow. So on your inhale, you're gonna arch your spine. Exhale, you're gonna tuck your tailbone. We'll just do a few rounds just as a counter pose to the back bends. You always wanna counter when you're contorting your body a little differently. Swing your legs out in front of you. Keep your knees bent and lower all the way down to your back. Walk your heels in as close to your booty as you can Again, we're just trying to keep everything in line to prevent injury. So ankles in line with the knee, knee in line with the hips. Nice flat spine. Your hands can come down to your sides. Palms will face down. On your inhale, lift your pelvis up towards the sky for bridge pose. So pressing into the palms of your hands, into your feet to lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lower down. This time as you press up, you're going to bring your right arm with you. So inhale, lift, and bring your right arm above your head. Exhale, everything lowers back down. Other side, inhale, lift, left arm goes above your head. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, both arms go above your head. And we're going to hold here for a few breaths. That can be very common when you come into bridge pose that your knees just kind of want to splay open. Try to squeeze your hips to lift. Keep them, hip width distance apart, but try not to have them splay open. We also tend to jut our chin up. Try to pretend like you're squeezing a golf ball between your chin and your collarbone. You want your chin slightly tucked in. Exhale, lower back down to center. Hug your knees into your chest. You can rock from side to side. Or create circles with your knees. If you're doing circles, go the other way. Bring your legs up towards the sky. You can have your arms down at your sides. You can grip onto your mat if you'd like, or if this is a lot on your lower back, you can bring your palms underneath. But on your next exhale, you're going to lower your right leg to a hover. Inhale back to center, left leg goes down. And just keep switching. Go at your own pace, go as fast or as slow as you like. Just try not to forget your breath. Let it guide you. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs face the sky. Release your hands, bring them behind your knees, and start to rock the length of your mat. Create a little bit of momentum. Come up onto your sit bones for boat pose. Now you have the option to extend your legs, extend your arms, or you can keep your knees bent, hold on to the back of your knees. Just make sure that you are leaning back, create some space here. And begin your toe taps, right toes go down, back up, left toes down. And keep switching. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant both of your feet. Bring the bottoms of your feet together, knees will go wide. Get your booty out of the way. You want to be on your sit bones. And you determine how deep you want to go into this pose. You can have your feet out wide, a nice diamond shape, or you can tuck your heels in. You decide. Well, feel them out. See which one's more comfortable for you. Inhale your arms above your head to lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over your lap. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. I'd like to use this pose to invite you to reconnect to your breathing. harness that power of your breath. And also bring back into focus that intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. If any noise or any, I like to call it background noise because that's kind of what it is. That chatter that happens in your mind that distracts you from the task at hand. If any of that has come back into focus, try to find that intention again. Even if you need to close your eyes to envision, bring it back into focus. Let it guide you through the rest of this practice. In yoga philosophy, we call that Dharana. That is the sixth limb out of the 8 limbs of yoga, which are kind of like guidelines towards self-enlightenment. They're just steps and ways to incorporate a new way of living. To kind of find your whole self. And Dharana is the ability to focus on one singular thing for an extended period of time without distraction. Slowly press up and release your legs out in front of you. Give them a wiggle if you need to. We just did a lot of deep hip work. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Extend your arms above your head to lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Now, if you are super flexible and you can just dump right down, try to keep the integrity of the pose by keeping a flat spine. Hinge from the waist and fold down. And if you tend to lock your knees like I do, you can give it a bounce throughout the entire folding process. You can use a blanket or a pillow or a block, whatever you need to kind of wedge it to create that micro bend. Keeping things locked blocks the energy from flowing, prevents you from relubricating your joints, and can cause injury. So you want to keep a bend. Slowly press up, release your right foot, bring your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Extend your arms to lengthen. Exhale, fold over your right leg. And what we're trying to accomplish in the repetitive dynamic movement, in the holding of postures, is to get into our deep facial system. We're wanting to work into the deep, neglected, easily dehydrated tissues that cover us from head to toe. Your fascia is the eternal webbing that covers you from head to toe, holds all of your organs, muscles, and bones in place. And if it is not stretched properly and regularly, it becomes brittle and dehydrated, which leads to that inflexible, painful movement. The aches and pains that happen as we age and as we forget to move our bodies. So holding it stretches that webbing so that our body recharges it, makes it stronger than ever before, while also relubricating our joints. Slowly press up, release your left leg. Get your booty out of the way if it came back in. Extend your arms, big inhale. Exhale, fold over both of your legs. You can allow your belly to be soft in these seated folds. There's no need to flex your abs. And I do bounce my knees when I'm in here. I do practice what I preach, I promise. Because I do lock my knees constantly. So when I'm in these folds, I do tend to lock. Slowly press all the way up. Bend your knees, lower down to your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Great. Cactus arms, robot arms, goalpost arms, whatever you want to call them. And then lower your knees towards the right of your mat. Your gaze is going to come over your left shoulder for a reclined twist. And correct. Stop it. Bring your knees and your gaze back to center. Exhale, lower your knees towards the left. Your gaze will come over your right shoulder. Another great accomplishment that you have achieved today is by moving your spine in 3 major ways: stretching, compressing, and twisting. And incorporating those 3 major ways, you are aiding in your mobility and flexibility. You are lubricating, elongating the spine, which has lifelong benefits. Bring your knees and your gaze back to center. Bring your legs the length of your mat. Arms come to your sides, palms face the sky. And I invite you to take up space. Have both ankles touch one corner of your mat if you feel comfortable. Begin to return to your natural breath. You have the option of closing your eyes as you find Shavasana. Allow yourself to quiet your mind. Exhaling all of the background noise. And release it. It is no longer needed. It no longer serves you. And as you inhale new possibilities, new positive intentions. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you possibly can. Reset your intentions. Exhale the ones that you no longer need and that no longer serve you. For the sake of our practice together today, I will leave you in this posture. If you enjoyed our time together, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Namaste.